don't employ people emotionally. Just employ someone to work, keep the professional relation, don't go into the nitty-gritties of family and all that, because you end up spending so much money on their family. For him, if he has a funeral, he has a wedding for the daughter is going to university. You are paying for everything. Because now it's part of it. For us, even when I tell him something, mini babuya. And when my employee tells you that, what do you tell him?
What I should tell you is that invest in the right people. When you're investing in the right team, you're loaning your time to someone. For me, I brought a very good salesperson into the team, very strong, and she was doing me better, 100 times better than me. So what happened is that within the first month that I brought her into the business, obviously I'm paying her a lot, but we made our first it was actually over $500,000 in a month.
The more you stay without posting, the more you overthink it. So I don't know if it's practical to say just post. And the more you keep posting, the less it scares you. It just becomes natural. So just post if that's practical. First, number one, if the deal is too good, that's kind of weird. You can only get scammed if you're greedy, or you're more likely to get scammed if you're greedy. So if you lead from a place of, oh, I'm gonna get a lot of money, I'm gonna get a free trip, that's already a red flag. Number two is of a contract, never ignore that kind of thing. You get in a lot of trouble, so that of course that's part of due diligence. And number three, kila mtu sahi ako na website, kila mtu ako na social media. So it's important to research yako itoke kwa valid sources, news articles, in a BBC. So that thing for start program that was happening in South Africa. Yeah, there was like program from Russia that had influencers market for them about bro type of thing. Turns out it was like a human trafficking thing. Yeah. And then like influencers are like under fire because they didn't do their research. So that's especially important, especially for if you're marketing a product or a service that is not tangible. It's a phone, it's already here. But if I'm telling you to go and apply for a job, that's kind of weird. But Safaricom at 18 concert, I was part of the team that were helping market it. And at that time, even right now, I feel like when it comes to someone like Safaricom, I feel like we are far too deep for us to get out of it. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but ukisema tuna boycott Safaricom, is it only me who's promoting it who's supposed to boycott it? Is everybody who's working at Safaricom supposed to leave their job because Safaricom is Safaricom? Should I now stop using M-Pesa for my tail transactions or for my business transactions? Like we talk about boycotting, how far can that go? Especially in regards to Safaricom. So, maybe I guess that Safaricom still work at Safaricom. Why should I also not work for Safaricom? The way I show up on social media is very authentic. So if a brand sees me and they tell me, oh, we don't want you to do this, or we don't want you to say this, and it's something that's already part of my philosophy, I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna say, and then second of all, I always work with brands that are products or services that I already use, something that I'm already familiar with. I'm not gonna come and promote something that I've never interacted with. That's just. Partnerships actually is a lot of gatekeeping. Some of the terms are actually not so favorable. But here, when it comes to management, you also like kakat. So it's a dance to, you have to make a compromise at some point. But yes, I wish there were more managers that were there to negotiate for us and to keep on those angry or those exploitative terms for us. So yes, I would consider. So my personal brand is very hard to distinguish the two. Of course, ikikuja professionalism, that mostly comes when you're working with a brand. So that's like how you're communicating with them, the back and forth with them. And peer content, your brand is different from like a personal project or a personal ad, because content your brand, of course, it's an ad, so it's gonna feel very different. But I'm also gonna answer because I also have a business, so I still do marketing for my business on my personal page. I make sure that I separate the two. I have a page for my business and a page for my personal brand. And any times that they do intersect, I treat it professionally. I'm influencing for my business.
I give you actual work to do. I see whether you're fit to do it or not. Because people tell you they know how to use a computer on the CV. I know Microsoft, Excel, everything. When you give them a computer, they don't know how to turn it on. And I've had cases like that before. Yeah, first, once you've done the interview, just do a case study or something like that with them to make sure they know what they're doing and whether they'll help your company. Voting is very important. You can, like I've told you, I was hiring someone for project management. He doesn't have the knowledge for glass, aluminium and all that. I have to give him that knowledge. So spending time with the person you're hiring first, you spend at least a week hands-on with them so that they can learn the business, they learn the processes of the business, how the business works and all that, to make sure that when you are putting him now, he's your employee, he's alone, and you're not there behind him at the time, he's doing it the way you need it to be done. Grounding for, you see, foundation is the most important part of a person, and whatever you're doing in life, foundation is the main. Starts from the person like me. I've been taught from when I was a kid, you see, ambition is something that some people get it naturally, some people need to be motivated to get the ambition. For me, I was one of those guys, even when I used to go to school, it was like a necessity. I didn't want to do it. Yeah, they had to push me. So when you have your kids, like probably 90% of the people here, by the time they were even 10 or 11, they were already told by the time you're 18, unatafuta nyumba yako. Yeah, that is not pushing someone. That is telling them whether I have it or not, you sort yourself out. For us, wherever or whatever happens, we know. Even if I'm 30, I still stay with my parents. And I've never thought of leaving the house because I know growth that I've had, the ambition, the pushing, everything comes from them. So if you have a kid and you want them to have the same ambition as maybe you or the people who are higher in business than you need to teach them from when they are like on how to do business, learning about business. You take them to your business I used to go to work since I was 6. Every Saturday I used to be at work. That is how they know that they need to hustle from that age to wherever they are. They have to learn through stages. You can't just go, you tell them, now you're 18, look for a house. The firing part, actually we are going through the question you are telling us about. We have an employee that took my dad to school. Just sits on the side porch of our Nini. He used to have the knowledge of the business and everything, but now he's old. So there's not much he's helping us with. But my dad doesn't want to let him go because of the emotional attachment. What we've done is we've told my dad, like me and my mom, we've told him, the amount of money we give him, you can give him tell him to stay at home. Because he has children, he has a family, and they can sustain themselves. The only reason he officially is retired. He gets a pension from the government and everything. But the only reason he's still with us is because of my dad. So even right now we are trying to get him go, but it's very difficult for my dad. So the only way you can do it is, the best way to away from this is don't employ people emotionally. Just employ someone to work, keep the professional relation, don't go into the nitty-gritty of family and all that, because you end up spending so much money on their family. Like him, if he has a funeral, he has a wedding for the daughter, the daughter is going to university. You are paying for everything. Because now it's part of the process. For us, even when I tell him something, yeah, I mean, babu yako. And when my employee tells you that, what do you tell him? So the best way to do it is just try and stay away from that. When they reach their retirement age, tell them to go. The longer you keep them, the more money comes out of your pocket.
Here's the thing. If the person is not paying, the day ataumia na hapo kazini, mtasumbuana. For the casual laborers, never used to pay SHA for them. And students ask me all the time, pay SHA, until the rider was riding 2 years after we started the business, and akagongwa na ngane. So at the point of oversee, the first question they're asking me, akona SHA. So they're like admission fees, or amekatwa masikio, so surgeon 75,000. So it's can let the person know, like, you don't want to take care of your SHA, sikutaumia usinikujie. But unfortunately, that's also not being a good human being. Just as long as you're an employer, impose it on them to pay SHA. If they can't do it themselves, yeah. So the day ataumia na hapo kazini, you will have a long one. Ukiandika contract na hauko quite sure about responsibilities, and say your close your mission asaidianga and any other assignments that are assigned to you. So that covers everything, because also assignments go growing by time. My advice is, if you cannot afford to pay someone monthly, plus everything else that comes with keeping someone monthly, you can just have someone who quickly looks through your contract and quickly writes contracts for you. It's even easier now because you can write your own contract and give it to me to review. That's cheaper. And some contracts go, like, you can use one contract for many things. If you have 20 employees, you just need one. If you have one project you're doing and you continuously need another 5 projects over the month, you just need one. So you can rather have someone go through it. That's better. If you're in the funding process, you can pay someone an all-inclusive to do everything for you, including the end. Yeah. Take 2. It's nice to appreciate the other person and what they do. Because also, it's difficult. It's a hard conversation when someone calls and they're like, hey, I don't have a problem answering the question, but I also can't go to Mwihaki and say, Mwihaki, niliona boxer ya bishti yangu imeruka kusaidia na boxer. It's also important to know everything is negotiable. And if I tell you 2 and you can't do 2, you can tell me 18. If you sit a money and I also can't take your money, I'll just tell you I can't take your money, but I can't.